You're listening to the Thrive Podcast, where every week we dive into a practical, tactical tip to bring you from a life of simply surviving to thriving. It's personal development for the everyday girl who is done with coasting through her days, done with feeling like she's missing out on the deeper meaning of her own life, and done with mediocrity once and for all. Because it's not enough to simply survive. You deserve to thrive.
Welcome back to Thrive. Wow, friends, it has been a year since we've caught up. Happy 2023. I hope your new year is off to a healthy and happy start. We have some incredible guest conversations coming your way in the next few weeks as we kick off season 4 of Thrive. Woohoo! So get stoked, get ready, make sure you're subscribed to the show if you are not already, and we would so appreciate you rating and reviewing the show if you have not already, because it is such a helpful way to let future listeners and potential listeners know if this is something that they might enjoy as well. So drop us 5 stars if you like what you're listening to. And let's talk vision boarding, shall we? Today, we cleared the calendar to do a quick little episode on a fun little practice that I've taken up in more recent years, which is vision boarding. Now, disclaimer, I am not big on manifesting. I've actually been writing a lot lately and journaling my thoughts out on that because I think this idea of manifesting out dreams and successes has maybe unintentionally become a pretty self-centered practice that has turned God into a genie or a magic 8 ball. Like if we only visualize something enough and think about it enough, it will be magically brought to us by the universe. And I think anyone who has been through hardship in life knows that that's just not always true. We don't always just get what we want because we thought about it enough or we put a pretty picture of it on a board. But there is power in positive thinking. There is power in visualizing success. There's power in clarifying what you want, why you want it, and then making an action plan for moving forward and moving closer to it. So while I'm not one for putting things out there with an expectation of things coming back in an exact or a too specific way, I am on board with getting clear on your God-given hopes and dreams and doing what you can do to set wheels in motion. I just think it's important to leave some space in the margin for God to maybe make things even better than you would have dreamed them to be, and for there to be a little bit of curiosity in your life and not just a white-knuckled sense of control. I've always struggled a bit with all of this internally, honestly, because I've always been a really ambitious person with big goals and high drive to get there. But I've also always held the underlying belief that God is ultimately in control. We are co-creators, we're co-drivers, but he can pull the e-brake at any time and point us in a different direction. And then it's up to me to adjust and adapt. Just because I've got a picture of a fancy 5-bedroom, 4-bath with a wraparound porch and a picket fence doesn't necessarily mean that it's magically going to come down from the sky. Nor does it mean that it's what's best for me and my family, nor what God maybe intends over what I would humanly desire. So, anywho, all this being said, I still like a good vision board. I still think it's helpful to have reminders plastered right in front of my face or there, not necessarily to manifest things, quote unquote, there, but to constantly align and realign my daily habits and routines and intentions in the right direction. Because I know that if I see it 32 times, I am probably 32 times more likely to make it happen, whether that's a reminder to drink a certain amount of water every day or to not compare myself to others, whatever it might be. And I will say, looking back on my 2022 vision board, man, it's a little funny how much ended up happening from it exactly as was pictured. So, how I vision board. I use a free website called Canva. It's what I use for all graphic design on all of my social platforms. It's super user friendly. It's got different templates for different graphics already in there. So it's a pretty easy way to jump right in and create something inspiring. But before we actually get to creating the vision board, we have to consider what should be on it. Personally, I like to include a lot of meaningful quotes and healthy reminders that can essentially be my mantras for the next 365 days. It's not necessarily some tangible, specific thing I want to bring about in my life, but they're ways of life or ways of thinking or being that have undeniable impact on what I am able to bring about in my life tangibly. For this, I look to good old Pinterest and I search for some phrases or quotes that embody traits or ideas that I'm personally working on. So on my board now, for example, I have one that reads, prioritize your peace. One that says, focus and simplicity. Once you get there, you can move mountains, from Steve Jobs. Things that are basically themes for my year. Then I do pick a few concrete goals with the idea that a visual reminder of them will have me more intentionally and actively doing things in my everyday life to bring me closer to them. So I have a few brands I want to partner with, some fitness goals, and also two more generic but concrete images. So one of a gorgeous mountainscape to represent how many hikes I want to go on this year, another of a gorgeous tropical resort to represent 2 little baby moon vacations I'm planning with my family, that sort of thing. I try to keep the overall vibe or thought process. Who do I want to be when I'm sitting here in 365 days looking at this same board? What do I want to be true about me then that might not be currently true? And from that point, it's my job to take steps and grow and evolve and learn on my way to getting there. So again, I use the free website Canva. We'll have it linked for you in the show notes below. And I just upload all of the images that you've clipped and saved in your online search. For my fellow millennial babies, this is so similar to when we used to cut out clips from magazines and tape them to corkboards, but I digress. So you'll upload your images and literally just collage them in a way that works for you. Canva also gives you the option to add little graphics or other design elements. So if you want to make it pretty, if you want to add other sort of things just to make it whatever aesthetic fits your vibe, you can absolutely do that. Or you can just collage all of the images themselves. It truly is meant to just be a personal practice and a personal process for what will inspire and motivate you. I then make it my desktop background for the year since I'm on my computer every day and see it, but you can print it out or send it to your email, literally whatever will work best for you. I know some folks like to have it where they can see it and access it regularly. I also know there's people that want to set it and forget it, so to speak, where they're making it and then they are literally not looking at it for whatever period of time. I just personally think that having that visual reminder is something that is helpful for me. Okay, that's it. That's how I vision board for the new year. Super short and sweet, super simple, and totally something that I believe you can do and will hopefully help you. I hope this mini episode was helpful and an inspiring way to kick off 2023. If you make your own vision board, I would love, love, love to see it. If you're willing to share, feel free to tag us at thrive.podcast on Instagram or send it as a direct message to us so that Team Thrive can root for you all year long. Cheers to you and cheers to everything this new year will bring. It's your time to thrive.
Wait, before you go, make sure you're subscribed to never miss an episode of Thrive. Drop 5 stars on your way out if you like what you just listened to, and come join the party on Instagram at thrive.podcast to stay inspired and thriving all week long. Thanks for tuning in. It's your time to thrive.